I'd like to call to order the Library Building Committee meeting. It's Thursday, March 13, 2025, at 3 o'clock. This is a hybrid meeting at Old Town Hall. The listing of matters are those reasonably anticipated by the chair, which may be discussed at the meeting. Not all items listed may in fact be discussed, and other items not listed may also be brought up for discussion to the extent permitted by law. Could we all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before you open up your meeting, I'll ask for a roll call for the amendments.
Jonathan Gale, ABA coordinator.
At Gales Historical Commission.
Ralph Stafford, Town Administrator. Mark Buffett, Library.
Ron O'Connor, co-chair.
Ken Pacheco, co-chair.
Mark Tavares.
Thank you, Mark.
And I'll call to order the meeting of the Dyson Public Library Board of Trustees.
Rita Rujo, trustee.
Ron O'Connor, chair.
The agenda item, first one is updates regarding the project work streams, regarding the building infrastructure. You want to do this?
Sure.
Thank you.
I'm not sure if anyone has been able to go by and see the progress, but we've done quite a bit. The highway department has completed just about all of the handrails, both inside and out. They just recently this week poured the sidewalk areas at the base of the ramps and at the front of the building. Thankfully, BP students have been re-engaged. Thank Ed Dutra for that.
Yes.
And yourself. They've been there intermittently, but they have been working there fairly consistently. The town electrician has ordered the equipment for the electrical infrastructure for the HVAC systems. Painting is just about complete. I think there's one restroom that's incomplete and maybe one wall in a restroom that's incomplete. Some of the cabinetry is going in the break room. The guys, Pat, have you been by?
Couple of weeks ago.
Okay, so the guys are doing a great job about using all of the wood to repair, rebuild,
Okay.
and make some of the finish work match the existing.
I was there last week and Mike Barrowby showed me some of the work that they've been doing.
Yeah.
You'll be impressed. You'll get to see it.
Very impressed.
I'll stop next week.
And then I also have a quick statement from GCP. I'll read. Sure. She wanted, this is Shana Callahan from GCP. She wanted the committee to know that the HVAC bid was awarded to North Star. Equipment submittals were approved by both her and I, and the equipment has been ordered. We have 2 quotes for the storefront glazing and glasswork. This would include the 2 new front doors and the employee door on the right side. And we have 2 bids that have come back. They're waiting for 1 more, and it looks like the quote will be under the 50,000 threshold. We are actively working with a lighting consultant to finalize details. We had a working session on Tuesday where he was starting to review photometrics based on initial light scheduling and selection and placement. I hope to have another plan for you and Mark next week. And we'll be going by Friday morning. I'm gonna open the door for her tomorrow morning so she can have access. She wants to take real measurements and some photos to help with the lighting contractor.
Does anybody have any questions?
Do we need to go out for bid for the electrical components for the laboratory doors and the outside doors?
Eventually, yes. I don't know what those costs are. I wasn't involved with the last ones. Did you put out the ones out to bid for the COA? We know?
For the ones that were done for the COA, I don't know. And then, of course, the ones at Town Hall, we did.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah.
So my question is then for the electrical component for that, for the, again, the interior labs and the 2 doors outside, should we separately go out to bid, or is that something that's covered through the electrical already? I mean, we may pay for it through our grant.
No, it would not be included. It would have to go out to bid if it was above the threshold requirements. Right.
Okay.
I'm not sure what it'll cost.
Okay, so Mark and I, maybe you and I can look at that and circle back with Jim as well.
Yeah, sure.
That's makes sense.
Yeah, if it did have to go out to bid, we would use GCP. That's what we've been using for all of our procurement department.
Okay, is there a certain dollar figure for what has to go out to bid?
It's a $50,000 threshold, under $50,000, it's, you get, you're required to reach out and reach out to 3 people who do that type of job. You're not required to get 3 bids back, but you're required to reach out and show, reach out to
Okay,
3
because
companies that do it.
I would imagine that for the 2 front doors to electrify them and for the bathroom lavatories, the same thing? That's not part of it, or is that part of it?
We have not discussed electrification of laboratories, so if that's a discussion we want to have, we need to have it. I'm not sure that that's allowed, because isn't there a privacy issue with lavatories? Single-use bathrooms?
There is a privacy issue, but if whether or not it can be done, it's up to us. We can still electrify the door. We may not need to. If the door is wide enough to handle the right spots, then we don't need to.
I'm not sure, you might misunderstand me. If we electrify a single-use bathroom that's required to have privacy, blockable by the occupant.
Yep.
Then you can't have electrification. Because anyone could go out and hit the button and open the door while someone's.
No, I know what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. There may have been a change where and I have to check it because you may be very, very right. There may have been a change where the interior can be locked
Okay,
for that, but I have to check.
if you want to check, let me know.
Let me check it, and if not, then that doesn't even matter, then it's just for the 2 outside doors.
Right.
Do you want us to circle back with you on that when we
Yeah.
get some figures? Because
Yeah, we're not ready to put that
yeah,
out.
no, I just
so-
meant because you're gonna have to also coordinate, I assume.
Right.
With others.
So Jonathan, you're saying that we're covered if we have doors with the right type of handles that aren't electrified and they're wide enough?
Yes,
We don't
that's
have
for inside, for the lavatories,
Correct.
not the outside.
So you're not talking
The outside doors,
to go into the bathroom?
no, those to go, bathroom doors, let's just use the term bathroom doors. Jim may be very right, I just want to double check it because there was recently some changes that, I don't know if they've been promulgated yet, but came down. That talked about lavatory doors. If they haven't been promulgated yet, then we're fine. And we can just use the doors that we have as long as we have the right levers on them. No problem with that whatsoever.
And you're going to check into that? for
Yeah, I'll
us?
check into that tomorrow, actually, so we don't have to wait on that. Sure. And then the other one would be just the exterior doors that Mark and I can reach out to a few folks and then circle back with Jim on also to coordinate.
Yeah, if I'm just saying here, for the record, that if it does have to go out to bid, I want to use GCP to put that together and to reach out to the contractors.
Okay, I would think that the figures would be. Do we know, well, I'll wait, because I don't know if we have the doors, if we've already chosen the doors or not and so forth.
We have chosen doors, and we chose doors that can be electrified.
Okay, so then we'll get that information from you, so that we can pass that on to the folks who would be doing it.
That contract has not been issued because it's still out for bid, so we don't actually have the door contractor under, the door installation company and provider under contract. So I'm not going to provide anything with you until that closes out.
Can you let me know what company, because they may have already
Sure,
folks who can do the electrification,
sure.
and we can reach out to them and find out. That might be less expensive that way.
We can bring that up in the next meeting.
Okay, awesome, thank you.
Any other questions? I did have an opportunity to go there last week. I was impressed with the work. I saw the railings. I did not see the railings inside, but I saw, did you post a picture? Somebody posted a picture of the railings inside the ramp going up.
Oh, yeah.
They look very good. It looked like they were appropriate. I'll bring Jonathan over there probably next week, but I think they were, in my opinion.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
all compliant.
That's that second.
Actually, I've been over there already,
Okay,
and they are compliant. Thank you. Great job, Jim.
but also the woodworking you were talking about, it looks great. I saw Mike Burry give me a little tour.
It does. It's really coming together.
Yeah.
One other thing too, which is just fresh, the town plumber requested a rough inspection today, this afternoon. So all of the rough interior plumbing is complete. And that includes the restrooms, the break rooms, the program room, all of the infrastructure needed for that.
And is the sink going in we're talking about, not the break room, the program room? This is going to be a sink that's going to be handy. It's going to be handy accessible, yes.
In the break room and in the program.
Any other questions, concerns, or anything? Now we'll go to budget.
Okay, sure. I sent you the budget through email. There was one correction that I need to make. For the special article, there was one bill paid on 2/27, the Aries Building System of $1,720.
That was actually paid in error, according to the bill schedule, it was supposed to be into another account. So the actual number, it's not $261,767.68. The actual number that is in there as of 2/28 is $263,487.68. So I wanted to point that out, so you had accurate information. Everything else is up to date. I did want to mention that discretionary funds, so Meg Leg funds, I have $39,650.06 remaining. And from the library gift account, it says on here, well, not on here, on the report that I got, it was $69,934.21. That was done before the Friends had their meeting, and they allocated $16,259.52 of that to go towards several purchases, one being a smart board, one a TV monitor, a podium for the program room, a baby changing table for the bathroom. And so basically add up all the discretionary funds that do not appear on the sheet that I gave you, and that's $93,324.75 that we can use as contingency, in addition to the CPC funds, which we haven't yet touched, of the $323,000. So I think we are in good shape as we're winding down the project.
I did have a question. I need some clarification on the CPC funding.
Yep.
I know that primarily the bulk of that fund was supposed to, amount was supposed to be used to fund HVAC.
Yes.
However, there was some conversation about doing some other work inside the building because of the historic nature.
Okay, yep.
Does anyone else recall that, or?
Legally,
Okay,
that's fine,
okay.
take your word for it.
So.
I'll take your word for it too. That was agreed upon before my arrival.
So, yeah, I do recall some specifics about what we could use that. There was some carpentry in there and some things because of the inside of the building. So if that's the case, understanding that from a budgetary perspective, we're doing pretty well, but we still have several months to go, and we are going to spend quite a bit of money over the next several months.
Yep.
Do we want to entertain some of the bills that are now going to come in for some of the plumbing upgrades, things of that nature, to be paid out of that for those CPC funds?
And we can entertain that, yeah. I'd like to pay down the special article first.
Well, you can't, I guess you could ask the town accountant to reallocate after the fact, but I don't know that's the right way to do it.
Is it designated for?
Yeah, it preserve, rehab, restore, HVAC, electric, carpentry, media.
Okay, so that's pretty.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So to reallocate it. Why do you think, why not?
Well, based on what you just said, if we
Mhm.
spend down the special article,
Mhm.
and then we find out we're in a position where we need more money, then we have to reclassify some expenditures that could fall under the CPC fundings,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
as opposed to just spending some CPC.
I see what you're saying.
funding.
Do you know if we have a scope of work
I
with
think-
CPC funding that I specifically identify as like what? Okay.
So I am on CPC, and when we approved it, and we approved it for HVAC, what we were asking was that if it needed it to be used for any other purposes, that we be made aware through our chair first, so that we can determine whether or not it falls under the same purview for historical need.
Okay.
So I don't think that, I'm not gonna necessarily say there'd be an objection, there probably wouldn't be, but we did ask to be included in the conversation through our chair, which is Kevin, so that we can go back and discuss whether or not whatever is gonna be used for separately is included. Because we have to be careful what it's used for, that's all.
Right. And basically the main reason I haven't touched it yet is because it was HVAC in mind. We got the $200,000 grant for the HVAC, and the HVAC work hasn't even started yet. Yeah, so that's basically the main reason why I haven't touched any of it to date.
I just feel the discussion is prudent in the fact that we're going to be spending quite a bit of money over the next several months.
That's right.
And, I don't know how cumbersome it is to reclassify an expenditure that went to a special article that could have gone to CPC. And whether or not, if we do that after the fact, if it's gonna pose a problem.
And that
I
was,
think a reclassification, that's probably might have to go back to the town meeting.
yeah, that
But
was,
I think it's a little more nimble under CPC.
Maybe misunderstood. I didn't mean
Okay.
reclassify the special article, reclassify an expenditure that was posted to the special article.
Oh,
That could
okay.
have went to the CPC.
Oh, all right.
Oh, I see, oh, yeah, I was, okay,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
I was kind of linking what you were thinking.
No, no.
Yes.
Okay, I
I'm
see.
talking accounting, like.
I see what you're saying, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, clarify, yeah.
Yeah,
We may determine that the framework of whatever Jim thinks is necessary is within the framework of the special article. You know, for what he's asking, we may totally determine that.
Mhm.
But we just want to be sure that it is, that's all.
I think the question Jim asked, and of which I think we both just got now is, I've been paying bills with the special article, and so they've been paid, but maybe a determination was made that some of the bills that were paid with special article could have been paid with CPC funds, and then the reclass, and then, correct?
Some of the future ones.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
That was the question, right?
it was.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
So would
because
it be prudent to have a conversation with the CPC before you start putting bills towards that?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yep.
We want to-
Jim, do you have an estimate of,
they're gonna start coming in, so.
I understand that, but I'm just saying, if they ask me,
As soon as they hit my desk, we'll have
Yeah,
a discussion.
right.
They're not gonna be small.
well, I understand that as well, I just like to be prepared going into things, like, if the question comes up, how much do you expect to pay for, electrical or whatever, I can give them an estimate as, we expect bills approximately X amount of dollars. I just want to be, I don't want to go into meeting unprepared for any kind of question, and that is a question I would ask. So if I'm gonna ask it, I want to be prepared
Sure,
with an answer.
okay. Hopefully, it's all moot, and we're gonna have plenty of money
Yeah.
to do it all, but I just wanna be ahead of it.
So should we be sending, get something ready soon, because they meet monthly, so I think they got a meeting next week, I believe, but then the next one will be April, so.
I think it would behoove us to send a representative to their meeting to have this discussion, to see what they feel the intent of that money was. And my recollection is there were gonna be some costs that they would absorb through that PPC funds outside of the HVAC. And if we can clarify that, then we know what bills coming in could potentially be posted against those funds.
And I would suggest if you send somebody, I agree with Jim about that, and not be me or not be Pat, because we are potentially voting members.
Wouldn't that detail be in the minutes? of the
It should
CPC?
be, but I think it would be good for us to just have a
Sure, I'm
fresh
just curious
conversation
what the
with
minutes say.
CPC.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think two questions do come up, like where is the status of the, project, the HVAC, have they started that, so even an update on that,
so when is that meeting?
March 20th at 5 o'clock.
Next Thursday.
Yeah.
Do you want to join me, Mark?
Yeah.
Does that work? Put us on the agenda?
I don't know.
I'll call Kevin and ask him to add you guys to the agenda.
Thank you.
I'll do that when we leave here.
And I'm gonna be at that meeting for something else, so I'll be there too, not that I fully understand what you're talking about.
Okay.
I mean, it is actually a good question, it is a good question to ask, because the special article is for 323,000, but the HVAC grant came in at 200,000, so it's not like they offset each other, there's an extra 123,000 in
Right.
CPC.
And that is a historically significant building,
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
we should be
Right.
using some CPC funds for what we're doing. So, okay, thank you.
So the minutes should reflect that you're gonna be there, I'll be there also, but something else. Any other questions or any concerns about,
We need to post that because 3 members will be there.
it's not a quorum.
Now, quorum is, for this committee is 5.
Oh, okay.
But we'll be there
We'll be there.
at CPC, yeah. So Jonathan and I are.
1, 2,
CPC.
3, 4, that's fine.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking of you two.
Yeah.
Thanks.
It's- I separated out.
Then Jonathan.
You know, right, so,
Membership is covered.
so I guess it has to be posted.
Okay, right.
Valid point, good point. Any other questions on budget then? If not, we'll go to grants and fundraising. We do have a committee meeting at 4 today on fundraising. So we'll begin the process of talking about fundraising for the library. Anything on grants?
I applied for a grant last week from the Association of Small and Rural Libraries. They offered a $15,000 grant for infrastructure. I figured HVAC was infrastructure,
Oh, yeah.
especially given the fact that the grant that we had is 200,000, bid came in 235. Not that it's, plus contingency, of course. I figured if if we get the grant, that's $15,000. I don't have to pull from somewhere else to off the HVAC. If we don't get it, well, you're not gonna get it if you don't try, so.
Sure.
Maybe we get 10,000, I don't know, I applied for the 15,000 max, and we'll see what happens.
Thank you for applying.
Mark and I met yesterday, had a great conversation, talked about the forum that we had, remember that forum that we had several months ago? We're gonna revisit that forum on the 24th of April. If everybody wants to mark their calendar accordingly. Here, 6:30. We are going to be reaching out in the meantime through every single method we can, which is the town's website, of course, the Strawberry Vine, the schools, special ed programs at the schools, the teachers. We're gonna ask the schools if they can also post it to parents. Put it on the sign up out here by Town Hall, through the Lions if we can. But we're gonna do a format similar to what we did before, which is now that it's a good opportunity also for the public to hear an update from Mark as to the library progress in general, which is what we're gonna start with. And then get into the form of what we're going to be. Now we can actually say what we're gonna be putting into the library, and I'll get to that in a minute, for persons with special needs or disability, and then hear from what we wanna hear really from people is what they want for programming and workshops, things like that going forward. So Mark and I also talked yesterday about the equipment that we're gonna order. We're gonna use 17-inch monitors, not that this is that important right now, but we're gonna use 17-inch monitors. We're gonna see if we can lock one or two of the computers in at a larger font size for people with low vision or poor vision, probably more seniors than anything, frankly. We're gonna keep the disability computer that has the speech system synthesis in the reading room, but we will have a second backup laptop, which Mark has already, which will be kept behind the desk as well. We've talked about the lighting that is ordered already through Mark and Jim, and that's how that's gonna go. We've talked about some other software for people who potentially have dyslexia and things like that for screens and things, various software that will allow them to do certain things with a special computer. So we covered a lot of ground in our conversation, and we're gonna put any other ordering we need in for the software components probably over the next 6 weeks, so that we have everything timely. Mark indicated that he has somebody from the library program from sales, is that what it's called?
Yeah, we said the sales network, yeah.
Sales network, to come in and do all the installation. Once the installation is done, I will come in and I will test it, make sure it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. Or if that person needs to speak to others, I have somebody that Mark and I talked about, I can bring in to do installation as well, so that we can get all that software in there correctly, not just for blindness, but for other types of disabilities. So we're moving along.
And if I could, everything Jonathan just mentioned is gonna be part of the ADA grant, so by doing all this, we'll be spending the rest of those funds there.
So when we talk about the electrical work, is that part, is it the wiring also for the internet?
Yes.
That's also,
Yeah.
that's included, that's correct.
Yeah, the wireless modules themselves will be through our IT department, but the cable infrastructure for all of the data, yes, that is included. They actually started running that yesterday.
We all know where it needs to go, that's already been determined.
I had 2 walkthroughs ordered with the BP instructors in the last 2 weeks. So we're getting squared away.
It's a good workflow.
I told him to call me anytime, and he took me up on the offer. And I kept my word, I met him at our meetings, man.
Any questions or concerns regarding the grants and fundraising? If not, we'll go to community updates and information. I noticed that you've been posting on
Yep.
Facebook, which is good. I think the public needs to see the progress of the building.
Yes.
They seem to be anxiously waiting for.
Yeah, and, like, if you want some hits on Facebook, just post some posts about the library information. You're
Always good
Kinda works,
comments,
yeah.
so.
yes, that's good. Except that one person liked the new color, but that's okay.
Yeah.
We'll win that person over. We'll win that person over, don't worry.
She'll like it when she gets.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm not worried about that.
I saw-
If that's the only thing we can point to, that's not a positive comment, like, we're doing all right.
Yeah, but then she said the color's fine.
So, see, I knew we'd bring her.
I have a different philosophy, you can't please everyone, so.
Well, no, that's also, yeah, you just do what you do, and then, yeah.
Well, we seem to be pleasing a lot of people, which is
Yeah,
good. which is
yeah,
what we need
yes.
to have to do.
And if that's the worst comment,
We're doing
you're
good.
okay.
We're doing all right.
Okay.
We're doing all right.
Could hand her a paintbrush and say, go to it then.
No,
I did comment that we think it's gonna be open in the fall.
That's what I've been saying.
Yeah, so
I've been saying in the fall with an eye towards September. I feel like that's a safe comment to me.
I wouldn't go that far, I just said,
Oh, I'm an optimistic person.
I know, which is good. It's what we want.
I still say the fall. I don't say September, I say the fall with an eye towards it.
Yeah, that's fine. HVAC update, you gave us a little bit on that
Yeah.
already, so, okay, any questions on HVAC? I know we discussed it already. Review, discuss, and act on some painting, some buildings.
Yep, that's right.
So 3 invoices from Eagle Leasing.
Yep, that's for the storage unit, yep. 7 invoices from A1 Hardware totaling $130.95, that's with the work highway department's doing in there. 1 invoice for Vanish Painting totaling $3,965, that's for painting. 10 invoices from Home Depot totaling $1,333.21, that's the highway department and the work they're doing in there. 1 invoice from Aquaneck Fasteners totaling $129.60, that's for the work on the rails. 1 invoice from Air Gas USA totaling $197.04, that's also work on the rails for highway department. All told, we're looking at invoices totaling $6,278.80.
Did we cap the amount for painting or we did not at our last meeting? Or did we, I know we approved an additional amount. Jim indicated there was an additional expense.
Yeah, that was the final.
That was the one, yeah.
So
Yeah.
so is this the final bill or is it
Yes.
still?
Yeah,
No,
okay,
final
yep.
bill.
So the work they still have to complete has been billed already?
No, the highway department's gonna paint those 2 restrooms.
Thank you.
Any other questions about the bills? Now, is this something that the building committee is gonna vote on, or the?
These right now have paid for special articles, this will just be the building committee, yeah.
There's no questions, I'll entertain a motion. Can we put them all in one motion? Unless,
If we put the total figure, we can.
$6,278.80.
entertain a motion to approve the payments that were just discussed.
In the amount of $6,070, is it 70?
$6,278.80.
Is there a second on that motion?
Second,
Any discussion? If not, I'll call for a vote, starting with Jim.
James Aguirre, aye.
Jonathan Gale, aye.
Back Gales, aye.
Ralph Dackel, aye.
Mark Crosby, guy?
Ronald Connor, aye.
Campuchico, aye.
Mark Tavares, aye.
Passes unanimously. Everybody had an opportunity to look at the minutes from February 13th that Mark had given us a few weeks ago.
Thank you. You always get them right away, I'm impressed.
Which is good.
Thank you.
Which is
Fresh in my mind,
good.
yeah.
Really, which is
Great.
good.
Quick turnaround, that means that, that's the best I'm gonna be.
I don't look at it right away, but when I look at my emails, I always go back to like the day after our last meeting, that's where the.
Okay, all right.
I'm impressed. Any questions, any concerns about those minutes? If not, ask for a motion to approve those minutes.
I did see that Mark put a couple of things in there to see if you actually read them.
Ron put it up in minutes.
Other than,
I have a story for you, I'll tell you.
other than grammar, everybody's okay with the minutes?
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second,
I'll call for, no discussion, I'll call for a vote, starting with Jim.
James Aguirre, aye.
Jonathan Gale, aye.
Back Gales, aye.
Ralph Dackel, aye.
Mark Crosby, guy?
Ronald Connor abstained, I wasn't here.
Campuchico, aye.
Mark
Wait,
Tavares, aye.
Last meeting?
I was not, but I don't have those standards for minutes.
Okay.
It passes unanimously.
And I guess you put me as aye.
Okay,
You got that, Mark?
I got it.
We'll see it tomorrow in the minutes. That's it.
It'll be there.
Wouldn't want to think that I wouldn't want you to think I abstained because I found some typos.
At first, when you said I abstained, I thought that was the reason, but
Because I was.
our next meeting, I don't even know.
The trustees need to approve that.
Okay.
Oh,
Yes.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Step down as chair to second, vote,
Rita Russo, aye.
Ronald Connor, aye.
Passes. Do you have any idea? Being for our next meeting?
I'm just thinking out loud, and actually I would ask Jim, because Jim, what do you suggest? Because I know that you guys are you're gonna present to CPC next week. And CPC may or may not vote down or may take it under advisement till the next month. I don't know. But having said that, you also said that there may be bills coming in. to go over, and that may,
There will be a lot of those coming.
yeah, that may impact what CPC will need to know for our April meeting, because we may take something under advisement next week. I don't know, just speaking out loud.
When is the April meeting? What date?
For CPC, it would be the
17.
17th, so we may want to meet
The 10th?
just before that, so that there's a confirmation of what is going to go to CPC if it has to. That make sense? Yes,
Sort of.
You tell me, I'm trying to-
Well,
or do you want to?
yeah, no, I appreciate the foresight. I just think the discussion is gonna be pretty simple. We query everyone for their recollection. We refer to the minutes if needed. We're gonna be able to leave that meeting next week with a direction as to whether or not we could pay some other bills, the CPC funds or not. So I don't foresee it going to an April meeting. I think it'd be pretty simple. I certainly wouldn't want not to pay a bill.
Oh, I'm big on paying bills.
Yeah, likewise, so.
That's good.
All right.
That's the only way to answer the phone the next time you call. so.
Well, our meeting is on the 17th of April, so I guess the question is going to be whether you want to, and it's on a Thursday, so do we want to hold it the same day earlier, or go to April 10th or April 26th?
Well, let me ask this, if I may. When it comes to the large bills that are coming from HVAC, we're gonna spend down the grant first, correct?
Absolutely, yep.
Okay. So, so I don't think a conversation with CPC about that, the HVAC, which is the bulk of it, will take
Right.
place until middle of summer, maybe June.
Mhm.
May or June.
Right, the grant won't cover everything though.
Right, it
Yeah,
won't, but
yeah.
it's gonna cover the final payments.
Right.
Right. So that would be in June.
Mhm.
So I think that meeting would be more important for timing purposes. So you're saying your meetings are at the third week? what is
Yes,
it,
third
week?
Thursday,
Okay,
yes,
of every month.
yes. At 5:30, 5 or 5:30, depending upon what we all agree on, always.
So we normally meet, what, the second Thursday, right?
That's what we've been doing, yeah.
April 10th, we was the second
Day
Thursday.
of the trustees meeting. That's-
Yeah. Is that the 10th also?
When we meet over normally at prime time, but I think when I speak to Kevin later, ask him to put this on the agenda for next week, we could also talk about whether or not we met at the same place. And we could maybe go to, I don't know if everybody can do it, go to 4 o'clock that day or something.
Oh, we don't mind coming over. Okay. That's already set.
And it's not that.
No, we don't know. This room might be booked. This room is used a lot, so.
All right. So do we want to meet April 10th?
Same time?
Yeah, 3 o'clock.
You expect to have a fair amount of bills in by then? That's just 3 weeks. Roughly.
You usually give me a good stack.
Yes.
Okay.
April 10th, okay with you, Mark? 3 o'clock?
Yeah, that works.
Okay, everybody so far. So April, our next meeting will be April 10th. There's nothing else, so I'm entertaining a motion to adjourn. Somebody's gonna make the motion.
So moved. Oh, we moved.
Call for vote, stop adjourn.
James, I.
Jonathan Gale, aye.
That feels fine.
Ralph Back line.
Mark Buckner, guy?
Ralph Connor, aye. Ken Pacheco, line.
Mark Farzai.
The meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, Mark.
I make a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
Trustees. Sit down as chair, just second. Rob Connor, aye.
Raider Russo, aye.
See you.